Denzel, oh my God, man, I'm stuck. I'm in the weeds. How do I get out? How do I bounce back from financial delays? How do I get out of this situation? I'm in a bind, okay? I started doing velocity banking. I'm listening to what you're saying, and I got the line of credit, and I'm doing my stuff, and I'm building my cash flow, and I'm trying to do this stuff, but all of a sudden, it seems like every other time I try to make a change, something hits me right in the face. It's like the devil after me, man. What do I do? How do I come back from this financial delay and not allow this ever to happen again? What can I do when my back's against the wall? I'm in the weeds. I don't know what to do. My line of credit, my debt tool is damn near maxed out. I had these emergencies pop up. Okay, what do I do now from here? What we're going to do on the board here today is we're going to display an example of someone having their debt tool in line, having, velocity banking, doing it, and then all of a sudden emergencies pop up, right? What to do when an emergency pops up or an unexpected expense. Does everything stop with velocity banking? Can I keep going? I'm sure these are some things, some concerns that some people have before they even start applying the velocity banking concept, because they're thinking of worst case scenarios. And so we're going to go over that today. So if we direct our attention to the board, we have a woman here that makes $5,500 a month. Expenses are $53.99.87. So, expenses are really high compared to income. Here's our total debt, $298,000. Cash flow, $123. Okay, we're in the weeds. Okay, prior to this, our cash flow was not really like that. It was a little bit higher, it was a little bit better, and then it decreased because we had some bills, emergencies that came up. Here's the line of credit that she has, $18,800, 12.65% is the interest rate. And here is the debt on the line of credit. Look at that. We got no space whatsoever. Okay, and here is the monthly payment now on this line of credit. It shot up, right? It's all the way really at max. $365 a month is now the monthly payment on the line of credit. We can't make any chunks, obviously. We're stuck. Or are we? Can we get out of this bind? All right, so let's go through this example step by step, day by day, paycheck by paycheck. All right, and I just want to list out what went down. So we've got 13 total debts of this 298. Right, so we've got 13 different payments that we're making towards debts. All right, we had emergencies. Okay, so her line of credit was at like the 60% range. Okay, like we made a chunk initially, right, and we kept space. That's part of my rule, right? We always want to keep space in the line of credit for what? Boom, emergency. So rather than me saving my money in a savings account and having an emergency fund, I made the line of credit my emergency fund so that I can go faster when I'm doing velocity banking. And we're going to display that right here. So we've got, as of right now, on the day that we spoke was prior to April 19th. Okay, and she has $200 in her checking account. $200 in the checking account. The next paycheck is going to be on April 19th, and when we spoke, it was about four or 5 days prior to April 19th. So here's what we have to do, okay, in order to get ourselves out of the bind, is we need to evaluate where we're at. As of right now, I got $200 in my checking account, and the first question I'll ask is, how much money are we going to spend from now till the next time I get paid? April 19th, I'm going to get a $2,800 check, give or take. How much money am I going to spend between April 15th to the 19th? And we went through it, and we're like, okay, we're going to spend $106.50. Okay, cool. So we're going to spend $106.50. That's going to come out of the checking account. We're not using the line of credit, because if I was to make a $200 payment on April 15th or 16th to the line of credit, and my payment that I'm going to make is smaller than the actual monthly payment on the debt, okay, the issue we're going to have is a lot of that money is going to go towards interest. It can, depending on how long you've had the monthly payment sitting there. I don't want to touch it, so I'm just going to leave it there. I'm going to keep this $200 in my checking account, and I'm going to just focus on whatever bills that I have left from that time period that we went over, about a 4 or 5 day period before the next time we get paid on the 19th. All right, so $106 is going to come out, and then we get paid. Does the rules change when we get stuck in a bind, when emergencies, backs against the wall, when the weeds, we don't know what to do? Okay, no. Velocity banking rules do not change. Dump all income into the line of credit. Now what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, from April 19th to May 3rd, that window, how much money am I going to spend in between my next paycheck? That's what I want you to do for yourself. This is what you're doing automatically when you're doing velocity banking, when you're preparing for that next chunk, is you're evaluating every bi-weekly or every month, if you get paid monthly, or every week, is you're seeing, okay, how much money goes into the line of credit, right? So all my income goes into the line of credit. And then you're like, okay, how much money needs to come out of the line of credit to pay bills from this day to the next time I get paid? And that's how money slowly comes out. And in that process, we're cutting off this monthly payment, okay? So we're not gonna have to worry about $365, okay? As soon as this paycheck comes in on April 19th, it's going in here, no matter what, and it's gonna cut that off. It's gonna satisfy the month's payment. It's going to drastically lower my interest, what I would have paid if I only paid $365. So if I only paid $365 payment from my 28, then I would have paid a lot in interest. But since I'm dumping all my income, I cut it off completely, and I satisfy maybe the next 2 payments moving forward, or the next 3, however it works with your specific line of credit. The total number that is actually going in to the line of credit on April 19th is $2,900. Where did I get the other $100 from? Right from there, right? Because we're spending about $106 from that, 4 days prior to the 19th, and the rest, we're gonna add it, $2,900, boom, go right into that line of credit. Here's what the balance will drop to on April 19th. That's what it will drop to, and then you add interest costs, okay? She's gonna look at about $40 in interest because of the time that her expenses actually occurred. She immediately reached out to me, and that's the beauty of having someone that in your corner, an accountability partner that you can reach out to, that's gonna help you really, solve this problem, okay, so that we can move forward. We figured out from the 19th to the 3rd, we're gonna spend $1,882 from the line of credit. And boom, here's what the balance would go up to by May 3rd. And then what happens on May 3rd? Income goes in, okay? I'm looking at another $30 to $40 in interest, right? Balance drops, $14,961.76, and then you add another $30 of interest from when? From May 3rd to the 17th. That in-between period, because that in-between period, we're still getting charged a daily rate. But now that daily rate is even lower because the balance is lower. And because I'm pulling money out slowly, not all at once, right? So I don't want you to get confused that when I get paid on April 19th or May 3rd, that I'm gonna dump 28 in and then I'm immediately gonna take $2,214 out. I'm not doing that. I'm taking out $2,214 throughout the week. A couple $100 here to pay for this, $100 here for food, $50 here for gas, miscellaneous, household bills, this payment, that monthly bill, that phone bill, that car insurance, day by day, week by week. Going back here from May 3rd to the 17th, I'm gonna look at about this much in expenses. Boom, what does the balance go up to? 17,205.76 on May 17th. But then I also get paid that same day. So as soon as that balance rises, before I even allow what? The interest rate to start accruing on that new high balance, I dump my next paycheck. Bomb, dump it right in there. Brings it all the way back down to $14,405.76. Another $30 give or take of interest, all right? And I'm really highballing it. It's going to be less, okay? But I'm highballing it right now. Now we've got $1,500 that we're gonna spend from the 17th to the 31st. And here's where velocity banking really helps you on a weekly basis, is I'm sure you can agree with me that your weeks are not all set up the same, right? It's like this week you have majority of your bills, or maybe you have an even split like throughout the week. And it's nice to know that as we're finishing out the month, less and less bills will be owed as we come close to the end of each month. And that's usually how it is for most people. So $1,500 expense is dropping down, right? That our expense is adding, our $1,500 expense adds, okay, from the 17th to the 31st. Balance comes up $15,935.76. May 31st. Paycheck, $2,800, bomb, into the line of credit. Here's my balance, $13,155.76, give or take, by May 31st, after we've dumped our income for that particular day, that paycheck. So over a course of about 40 or 50 days, I think it was, that we went from owing $18,739.76. We had emergencies came out, backs against the wall, we're in the weeds, and we go from 18.7 on a line of credit that's charging this interest, 12.65%. Most people think, oh my God, that's a high interest. It's really not when we're doing this concept, when we're dumping all income in, taking expenses out, keeping cash flow in. And don't you find it amazing how the cash flow is $123.65 the whole time, but we didn't chunk at anything, right? We didn't pay off anything. We're just paying our bills. So how in the world did I go from 18.7 all the way down to 13,155 off of 4 paychecks? 4 paychecks, same expenses, 4 paychecks, same expenses. It's the speed at which we use money. It's the speed that I'm throwing that money in. Temporarily, the balance drops, and because that balance is constantly dropping, and it's going up and it's dropping, that over time, I'm no longer getting charged interest, and this is where my cash flow actually comes into play. So by immediately doing velocity banking on the line of credit, okay, so we're not doing velocity banking on other debts. Our main debt, our most concern right now is our debt tool. It's at risk of being maxed out and could potentially get closed, right? The bank could lock it up. They could freeze her. We don't want. That'll be really bad, okay? If the bank freezes this line of credit. So that's why it's so vital that when we're in a situation, if we're in a situation and let's say you've got savings, you have, different cash assets, maybe a CD or something like that, and you're doing velocity banking, I would highly, highly suggest cutting those off, maybe cutting off your 401k contributions in the event you're doing velocity banking, emergency goes down, you pull from the line of credit, and you happen to nearly max it out, that you ought to start redirecting cash flow back to you. Rather than that money sitting in an account doing nothing, you might as well have it be working for you, okay? Have it work for you, cut off interest costs, which saves you money, cut off the monthly payment, which increases cash flow, which allows you to bring back to that 60% state where it's like, oh okay, now I feel better. Now I feel better, okay? I feel good. I was able to take care of the emergency from the line of credit. My cash flow increases $365, and I save a ton of money on interest, okay? And I pay all my bills, right? Out of the weeds in about 45 days or less. Talk about a financial, challenge. Talk about a radical change. Sometimes we got to get radical. Sometimes we got to get on our knees and start praying to the Lord to make sure that we keep our discipline, right? The only way this is going to work for her right now is if she's disciplined. As long as she's disciplined, she will get the results that we displayed on the board here. If she is not disciplined, velocity banking will mess you up, okay? And this is why this concept, I believe, gets, a lot of maybe hate towards it, or, oh, hey, this doesn't work, or, the interest's too high, yada, yada, yada. You can't borrow from, you can't borrow what you don't have, and, you never really had the money in the first place, all this stuff. Hey, all of that is valid. But what else is valid is called leverage. If you leverage properly, we will go from 18.7 all the way down to 13, okay? If I was to take the same situation, okay, and try to do debt snowball with this, I can almost guarantee you that my line of credit would probably get locked on me. The bank would freeze it, right? Because how am I going to keep up with the payment, right? Because the expense number, okay, that could potentially or potentially not be a part of this 365 in some people's cases, right? Because when we're doing velocity banking, we're not accounting for the monthly payment because technically we don't have a monthly payment if we're doing velocity banking properly. So in the event things go bad, well, guess what? You just incurred a new expense, a new debt payment, right? So if we're not disciplined, if we don't follow our rules, if we don't redirect all cash flow back to us because the goal is to wipe out all debt, then we can be in a bind. We can really hurt ourselves, and we could really stay stuck, and we don't want to be stuck. So that's why I said, hey, sometimes we got to go a little radical here. You got to do a little prayer. You got to talk to God. You got to get on your knees and be like, listen. And you got to get your head right. You got to get your mind right. Call your accountability partner. Call your coach. Call that person that you have in your corner when it comes to finances. For a lot of my viewers, it's me, okay? And for all the new people here, I hope it will be me soon. I know you will eventually come along. And if not, I encourage you to look at other YouTube channels out there that are somewhat doing the same thing. Everybody's unique. I have my own style. They have their own style. But you want to make sure that you're following all the velocity banking rules so that we can get the results that we want to get. So in a matter of 45 days or less, we paid off on the line of credit exactly what our income was. And you're like, wait a minute, how can that be, Denzel? Okay, the reason why that occurs, okay, is the money is getting used twice. I'm putting my paychecks into the line of credit, which pays off the line of credit. Pays it off. Statement comes out. It says, hey, you paid this off. You've paid this down. You now only owe this. At that same time, we're then pulling what we need when we need it. So technically, it's a 30-day period, but because of how the paychecks work out and how they are structured, we're able to buy us more time. We're able to stretch out this debt. We're able to stretch it out for a period of time and not pay any interest on it. So that really, really helps us. So moving forward after May 31st, for the next 6 months or less, all we're going to do is velocity banking on the line of credit. We're not going to chunk at anything. Our main goal is to bring this balance all the way down as close to zero as we possibly can get. And then we will re-strategize. I'm going to re-strategize with her. And we'll say, okay, now what's the next debt that we're going to tackle? Okay, what's our next chunk? Are we out of the weeds? Are there any other upcoming expenses? Are there some vacations that are coming up? We're going to go through all of those things as we're, getting ready to prepare for that next chunk. So I hope this helped. When you're in the weeds financially, velocity banking can be that way out. You just got to make sure you follow the steps. You got to be committed. You got to be disciplined, and you got to want it. You got to know what your goal is. Okay? What's the goal? To pay off debt, to become debt free, right? To have all this financial stress released. If that's the goal, velocity banking is your partner, and I want to team up with you. My name is Denzel. Click the links below, check out my resources, hire me as a coach to help you achieve your financial goals, and I want to wish you a blessed day.